The odds of West Indies losing the two test matches against Pakistan in 3 days are the shortest in the history of forecasting. Bookmakers have made the odds so short that people will lose a lot of money if any of these match goes into the fourth day. Therefore, it is imperative that the West Indies players recognize how lowly they are rated and bring their A game to the table. I hope the team is confident because not many spectators in the cricketing world are expecting West Indies to have a ghost of a chance of surviving beyond 3 days in these two test matches. This, however, is not an unfamiliar position for the West Indies cricket team, as merely a year ago, most cricket fans around the world never expected us to beat Australia in Australia. Can history repeat itself again, this time in Pakistan? Hello everyone, welcome to the #1 cricket channel in the Caribbean. I thank you for being here and I appreciate your company. This morning, I will seek to pick the West Indies playing 11 for the first test match. This is my playing 11. It is not the playing 11 that Andre Coley will probably select on Friday morning, or maybe they even do it as early as tomorrow. Now, let's look at the performances, the main performances in the glorified Corrigold match that West Indies played over the weekend. West Indies batted first, and the two leading scorers were Alec Athanaze, who made 98. In that innings, he hit 15 fours. Django also made 63 not out. Those were the two leading scorers. Once again, Brathwaite and McKelway got out in the 30s. When the West Indies bowled, Kevin Sinclair took 3 for 50 from his 14 overs. Jaden Seals 2 for 16 from 6, and Gudakesh Moti 2 for 21 from 10 overs. In the second innings, when West Indies batted, West Indies were struggling against these youngsters from Pakistan, who none of us knows any one of them name. The players that plays for the Pakistan Shahini, I have not heard of any one of them. I have been checking in the Pakistan Super League and I have not seen anywhere any one of them have been drafted. So this was a match against some nobodies, so to speak. When West Indies batted in the second innings, they were 75 for 5 before Athanaze 58 not out and Imlak 57 not out. Now, the Guyana newsroom is reporting that Imlak knock was a very fluent one. I don't know why they said that. I don't know if they had somebody in Pakistan watching the match or so, because there were no images coming out of the match. So I don't know why the Guyana newsroom need to attach fluency to Imlak innings when no one really saw the innings. Now, is it because Imlak is from Guyana? Well, that will be very sad and very subjective, because they never said the same thing about Athanaze or about Django. But Imlak innings was fluent, and we need to cut those things out of West Indies cricket because no one really know if his innings was fluent. Well, persons were there, of course. When West Indies bowled in the second innings, Warrican took 2 for 23 from his 8 overs. So those were the numbers coming out of the glorified Corrigold match. Now, let me remind you of the West Indies squad that is in Pakistan. Brathwaite, Da Silva, Athanaze, Carty, Greaves, Hodge, Imlak, Django, Louis, Moti, Philip, Rhodes, Sinclair, Seals, and Warrican. Those are the members of the squad. Therefore, whatsoever you have in your head, whatsoever fantasy you have in your head about who should be playing, they can't play. It will be one, the 11 will come from these 15. Absolutely. These 15 are the only ones that the 11 can come from. Now, my playing 11, and you see there, I highlighted in blue those persons who will not be in my playing 11. So the other 11 will be in my playing 11. Naturally, Craig Brathwaite is the captain. He's the opener. I still think that he's the best opening batsman in the West Indies. Now, you would have heard me said on a number of occasions that I do not think that he should be the captain. In fact, I would not have him as my captain. However, he's there. He's going to lead the team. He needs our full support and our full backing. Now, so he will start. Joshua Da Silva will also play. I heard Red Pereira and Andre Douglas, our analyst, both saying that they would not play Joshua Da Silva. However, I am going with Joshua Da Silva, and I hope he performs. I really, really hope he performs. I need him to perform. In fact, whosoever play in that first test match starting Friday morning, 12:30 a.m. in Jamaica, we as West Indies supporters need them to perform. Alec Athanaze. Alec Athanaze reminds me of Jermaine Blackwood. One good innings per series to practically keep his place in the team. The difference between Alec Athanaze and Jermaine Blackwood is that Jermaine Blackwood averaged 30 and Alec Athanaze is averaging 26. We hope that Alec Athanaze can turn that average around and probably add 10 or 12 to his average. And so he will end his career with an average close to 40. Because if he does, it will definitely benefit West Indies cricket. But for now, Alec Athanaze is giving us one good innings per series. And I hope that the 98 that he made and the 63, the 58 not out, the 98 and the 58 not out, I hope those are not his only good innings for the series. But at least, he will at least keep his trend of producing one good innings per series. We need more than that from him. But the minimum we are asking for is hoping that this 98 and 58 are not the innings of the series for him, because clearly it was not in international cricket. He will maintain his place in the team. Casey Carty, after 4 test matches, is it 4? Yes, after 4 test matches, 2 against South Africa and 2 against Bangladesh. Yes, after 4 test matches, I've yet to pass 50 in test cricket. 8 innings, I score 42. He looks good. There's no doubt about that. He shapes good. But it's not on how you shape. It's what you produce. It's not your style. It's the production. And a highest score of 42 after 4 matches, he will not be playing in this game. Justin Greaves is in this team because he needs to be consistent. You would recall that I asked Justin Greaves at the match at Savannah Park, why is it that West Indies batsmen are so inconsistent? He mumbled-jumbled an answer. However, I hope that he will find some consistent. That was a question that I asked Justin Greaves that someone messaged me later and said that I should not have asked him. I had forgiven the person, so I will still not call his name, because my maturity doesn't allow me to really call his name, because that person needs forgiveness. I hope I'll see him soon so I can give him some counseling and ask him how to tell him how he should deal with things, because certainly the last thing that he would need me to do is to release that vice note. Kaveem Hodge is the man that scored the most runs for West Indies in 2024. Naturally, he will be in the team. Tevin Imlach is really the backup wicketkeeper. Again, I said Rutz Pereira and Andre Douglas believe that Kevin Imlach should be in the playing 11. For me, he's not yet in the playing 11. I will continue to go with Joshua Da Silva. Naturally, with Casey Carty's out, Amir Jangu will get his first test cap. Then Mikel Louis, as I said, will open the innings with Brathwaite. We will always play Gudakesh Moti. And so in this match, I'm playing all 3 spinners, Kevin Sinclair, Jamel Warrican, and Gudakesh Moti. Pakistan have named 5 spinners in their squad. 5 spinners. The matches will be played at Multan, both of them. the scene of where Pakistan famously came from behind to beat England 2-1 last year after England winning the first match. This pitch will be a turner. Can the West Indies batsmen survive? Can they score somewhere between 300, 350 in the first innings? Can they win the toss and get the best of the pitch and bat until lunch the second day, and then we can put some pressure on Pakistan? Majority of the cricketing world, as I said, don't think so. They are betting that West Indies will lose within 3 days. It's up to these guys. My biggest concern is that I'm hoping that these guys don't down tools. I saw them down tools at Sabina Park, and this in Andre Coley last test series. Many of them will think that, oh, we'll get a new page when Darren Sammy took over. We'll get a new chapter. All will be forgiven. A clean slate will be wiped. I hope that doesn't happen. I don't think Kemar Roach will be very effective in Pakistan on the pitch that I expect. So I'm not going to play him. He has been poor overseas for most of his career. I think he's only 1 5-wicket all he has outside the Caribbean. Therefore, I'm going with Justin Greaves to share the new ball with Jaden Seals. The batting is long, which is our greatest concern, and I hope the spinners really comes into their own, because I am going in with the 3 spinners and the 1 out-and-out fast bowler. Our best fast bowler right now in Test cricket, that's Jaden Seals. Justin Greaves will back him up. We can also have some left-arm orthodox spin from Kaveem Arch. That's my playing 11. Let me check the chat now and see what's your playing 11. Welcome to the show. Yvonne Johnson, as always, our spiritual leader, is saying, good morning, Mr. Forum, and to each and everyone in Jesus' name. Thank you so much, Yvonne Johnson, our spiritual leader. It's always good to have you here, and we look forward having you here each and every time. So wonderful. Good morning, Jamor Smalls. Blessing to you. Lou Prudent, good morning to you. Top of the morning to you too, Mr. Casanova. Patrick Lambert, good morning to you. And Jupiter Saturn said, I have absolutely no problem with you asking any player about their consistency, because that's what they are paid for. Yes, Jupiter Saturn. Yes, I asked the player about his consistency. And by the time I reached home, there was a text message saying that I should not have asked the player. Gordon Dixon, good morning to you and welcome. I would have loved to see some of your playing 11. I hope that you will put those playing 11 in the chat as I look at this next topic. Now, one of the issues that I have with Darren Sammy being named head coach of the white ball team and not taking over immediately is the implication of West Indies winning this series. Now, it is quite likely that the players will say, well, Andre Coley will not be here after this. And Darren Sammy is going to give us a clean slate. And in the coming regional 4-day tournament, which starts on the 29th of January, we can impress Darren Sammy. So there is a chance that the players may down tool. I hope not. I hope pride will take over and that they give it their best shot. Should West Indies win this series against all the odds, what is going to happen? The noise around whether the right decision was made to appoint Darren Sammy as the all-format coach will get louder. I must say that for me, and I've said it on a number of occasions, I do not have an issue with Darren Sammy being appointed the all-format coach. A matter of fact, I do not have an issue with the principle of one person. So let me remove Darren Sammy's name out of the discussion. I do not have an issue with one person being appointed the all-format coach. My issue is that he cannot be the lead selector, the only selector. If you are the all-format coach, you cannot also have that responsibility of the only selector. There must be someone ahead of you to challenge those selection, for you to explain those selection too. I think having one person being the all-format coach and also the only selector, it's too much power in one person. And when one person of power, as you know the saying, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So I would have definitely loved to see another person there to ask Darren Sammy to explain his selection. So he will say, all right, I'm going with Brathwaite as a captain. And that person may disagree and said, why do you still go with Brathwaite as the captain? And so there will be a discussion. And if afterward they second on Brathwaite, that's fine. But at least there is that discussion. There's someone there who can overrule him. Now, what if Andre Coley should win this series? You can imagine what will happen. The big cry that will happen. First, if he wins a series, the first thing you're going to hear, that is why you should not have removed him. That's the first thing you're going to hear. Should Australia beat West Indies in June, when Darren Sammy is the coach, that cry will become even louder. And that now will have some controversy starting to grow, as persons will be saying it's the wrong decision. And immediately, there'll be no honeymoon period for the head coach. And every head coach needs that look honeymoon period. So it is going to be very interesting, because deep down I want West Indies to win this series. I also want us to beat Australia. But what is going to happen when West Indies, well, if West Indies win this series? Because although deep down we want West Indies to win the series, and we hope and we pray that they do, this team is not a very good team. We must be honest. It's a very weak team. And that's why the bookmakers' odds are reflecting that West Indies will lose both matches within 3 days, because the team is poor. It's one player averaged above 30 in tests for West Indies in 2024. And that player is not in the test team right now. So I think that is Kavim Hodge is the next best with 24 or thereabout. So it is very imperative that we understand the dynamics, that this team is not very good, although we hope that they will win. But what will happen if the team wins? The pressure on Darren Sammy will be even greater. And that is one of the main reasons why I think that he should really have been the coach that lead the team in Pakistan. So that is very interesting. Patrick Lambert said, let's see what Patrick Lambert is saying here. Patrick Lambert is saying that it will be unfair to Da Silva if they should drop him and Brathwaite is still there making time. So you believe that in the interest of equity, there's no logistics to really drop Da Silva unless you're dropping Brathwaite. Take your point. Mr. Casanova said that players will look to perform so they don't get dropped when Sammy take over. We know Sammy will drop players if they are not performing. Well, thank you, Mr. Casanova. I can't say that I've always seen that, because there are players who are really not performing. Good morning, Mango Reef. Thank you for tuning in. OTC is saying that Brathwaite, Louis, Greaves, Atanes, Hodge, Django Da Silva, Sinclair, Moti, Rhodes, Seals. Skeptical of playing Warrican in place of Da Silva. I don't know what you mean, skeptical of playing Warrican in place of Da Silva. I don't quite understand that part, OTC. Thank you, though, for naming your team, but there's no way Gudakesh Moti will play ahead of Warrican. Warrican is our number one test spinner at this moment in the Caribbean, based on performances. Jupiter, I think some of the players, especially the batters, may try to impress Sammy in this series. We hope so. We hope so. And I'm not saying that they won't, but I'm just saying that one of my fears is that they may down tools. I never said that they will. So don't look at it and say that I said that they will down tool. I said that's a fear I have, because I've seen it in the past where they down tools. So Jupiter Saturn is saying, I think some of the players, especially the batters, may try to impress Sammy in this series so that he doesn't drop them when he comes in as coach. Thank you. Don Dada, the great Don Dada. Yes, like up the live, people. Yes, thank you. Please slash a like on the video and click on that subscribe button. I wish Jamor, our good friend, Jamor, how you doing? How is that thing, Matt? How is that request that I made of you, Jamor Small? How is it materializing? Please send me an email. I wish the West Indies test team to surprise me and win at least one match. We'll be so happy. We'll be jumping. It will be the second time in a year that would have won a match in an away series that people don't expect us to win nothing. We got 10 tough tests this year. Can we squeeze a win or two out of the 10? We need to drop some of these inconsistent players for Rutherford, King, or Hope. That, you know, as you make that point, I would have said earlier that let's look at the 10 tough tests this year first. I believe that the best chance that West Indies have, and let me say this, our test team is not good. It's not a good team. We know that. We hope that they win, but based on their performances, based on their averages, they are not good. The bowling is good. The bowling is approaching world class, but the batting is poor, absolutely poor. Therefore, it is unlikely that we will win test matches. In my opinion, I think that when we are playing home matches, we must try to prepare some very flat pitches, home test matches. I don't think we are at the level right now where we should be producing result pitches, especially against a team like Australia. I think we should be preparing flat pitches. That's my opinion. I don't think that we are going to beat Australia very often if we prepare result pitches. It was good that we beat them in Brisbane, but I don't remember that win was after 27 years. After 27 years. So in my view, in all matches, we prepare some flat pitches and see if we can at least hold on for a draw. And the next point about we need to drop some of these inconsistent players for Rutherford, King, or Hope. In fact, those three players' names that you mentioned there, apart from Rutherford, I don't know if they are that consistent. But beside that point, though, the regional 4-day tournament will be going on while the Champions Trophy will be playing. There's a window. West Indies will be playing some regional 4-day tournament match while the Champions Trophy is playing. Let's see if these players will show some interest and come and play one or two of those matches. Because I maintain, although Cricket West Indies have changed their policy and said that you do not have to play 4-day cricket matches to play test cricket, if you have nothing else doing and you refuse to come and play in these first-class matches, I am not going to pick you for the test team because I'm not going to beg you to play. It's a privilege, absolute privilege to play for the West Indies. And you are just passing through a revolving door. I am not going to beg you to play if you are not playing regional 4-day tournament. Gurav Yadav is saying it will be funny if Aj runs through Pakistan on the wrong turn as they are creating. It will be very good. It will be very good. OTC saying Motti is our number one spinner. Warrican is backup. No, OTC, that doesn't go with the numbers over the last few test matches. At this stage, Warrican is our number one spinner. And I always said this, why person analyze name and don't analyze performances? Is it that we don't look at the performances or we just look at the name? Or we play a CC, country CC? If you analyze the performances, you will see that at this moment, Warrican is ahead of Motti. But we cannot bat on flat pitches either. But that will still give us the best chance, Jupiter Saturn. We cannot play and we cannot bat on flat pitches either. It will still give us the best chance. I recall, I think in England earlier this year, we did make 400 in a match. We did. So we may just be able to produce something on those flat pitches. If it's a result pitch, we stand no chance. Sammy can get some of these guys to play test. It's very interesting that you said that, Mr. Casanova. It's very interesting that you said that. And I'm sort of disappointed that no one have reacted to the implication of Coley winning the series and the pressure that will be mounted on Darren Sammy to do well, and the conversation that people will have to say that Cricket West Indies should not have fired Andre Coley, because that will be a conversation should West Indies win in Pakistan. Now, Mr. Casanova, it's very interesting that you say that, because I have no proof of that. Darren Sammy cannot get Nicholas Pooran to play one-day international. How is he going to get him to play test? Darren Sammy could not get Rutherford and Sheho and Akil Hussain to play all 320 against Bangladesh. Instead, they go and play franchise cricket. How now are we saying that he will be able to get them to play test cricket? He may well be able to get them, but I do not have that confidence that you have, Mr. Casanova. Let's hope and see that you are right, you know, but judging on that, he can't get Pooran to play one-day cricket. He couldn't get Open Rutherford to play against Bangladesh in the T20 series. They preferred to go to Australia. So why do you think that he will get these players to play test cricket? I think probably we are putting too much confidence in one man. I definitely think so. So Gaurav Yadav is saying the ceiling of Athanaze is very high. I don't agree. He has not showed me that. He looks like he has the temperament for a test, but then again, he just played one rush shot out of nowhere. Well, everyone is entitled to their opinion, and it's okay for us to have different observation, because you and I may be looking at the same girl and you think that she's ugly and I think that she's pretty, or vice versa. But in my opinion, Athanaze have not demonstrated anything to tell me that he has a temperament for a test. He has not demonstrated anything to tell me that he has a high ceiling. He has not demonstrated anything to tell me that he's a good batsman. I hope that he will turn it around and shut me up. But when he won't shut me up, he will just turn it around, because the numbers doesn't suggest any of those. And Jamor Small said, yes, playing tests and T20 is a all different ball game. All different ball game, I assure you. Never Isaac is saying, my advice to the players and coaches for this test, go with the mindset, only the hungriest dogs gets the bone. Thank you very much. Now, there's another issue here that I would like to touch on, and I'm going to put a poll in the live chat right now. So there's a poll in the live chat. Darren Sammy has been appointed West Indies all-format coach. To the best of my knowledge, he is still the coach of the Peshawar Salami in the Pakistan Super League. On an issue of governance, and my interest is West Indies cricket, not Darren Sammy. And I'm looking for the best interest of West Indies cricket. If Darren Sammy is still the coach of the Peshawar Salami to play in the Pakistan Super League this year, in my technical consideration on an issue of governance and organization structure and loyalty to a program, he should resign that position immediately. I will not have my all-format coach coaching a franchise team. And I checked and I asked you, and you can tell me in the chat because I can be wrong. Give me the name of one coach who is an all-format coach for his national team that is a coach of a franchise team. And if you know one, tell me. Now, the Pakistan Super League runs from April 8th to May 19th. The West Indies domestic series ends on April 12th. I think the last round of matches start the 9th. Yes, the 9th, 10, 11, 12. My coach, who is also my selector, I think that he should be in the region watching the 4-day matches. Yes, I know it's 2025 and technology, but I want my coach to be planning for the test series against Australia that comes up in June. May 19th, should Peshawar Salami reach the final, he will be in Pakistan until May 19th. And if we place any importance at all on test cricket, then therefore, there's no way, if I was the director of cricket, then that Darren Sammy, if he still is, because Cricket West Indies nor Darren Sammy have made any announcement. And this is something that Cricket West Indies should have announced at their quarterly press conference, whether Darren Sammy will remain coach of the Peshawar Salami. Because if he doesn't think that he's earning enough money from Cricket West Indies as the all-format coach, then he can go and get another job. But you're not going to be my all-format coach and yet still coaching a franchise team. If you're not making enough money, go and get another job. If I am not paying you enough, go and get another job. I have put the poll in the chat and I have asked, do you think that he should resign as coach of the Peshawar Salami if he still is? And so I look at what you say. But from my considerable experience, there's no way that for me, it is unacceptable if he's still the coach of the Peshawar Salami. No way should he still be the coach of that team. So, Mr. Casanova said, not talking about Puran, but then Puran was not the only one. I think he can get Rutherford and King. Puran is selfish and money hungry, so he probably won't get them. Well, again, I said, but Rutherford did go to Australia when West Indies have a T20 series against Bangladesh. Well, the thing is, Mr. Casanova, we will see. But based on what we are seeing now, there's nothing to tell us that he can get them. But let's see what happened. And Kermani is saying that, I agree that Athanaze need to show better temperament for test cricket, but there is no doubt about his skill to deliver. If I have very much doubt about his skill to deliver, Kermani. I have a lot of doubt. He has not demonstrated the skill to deliver. He has not delivered. His average in test cricket is 26. His average in regional cricket, not coming to me right now, but I know that up to the start of 2023, his average in regional 4-day cricket was 28. He had one magnificent series in 2023, and that propelled him to the test. But his numbers doesn't suggest one who can deliver. You know, it doesn't. So I don't know. I don't know about the skill. I don't know about the temperament. He needs to deliver. Are we playing cricket during PSL? Well, as I said, it's not a matter of playing cricket during PSL. The PSL finish. Yes, we will play our final matches. Our final regional 4-day match will take place during the PSL. But Australia series starts 2 to 3 weeks after the end of the PSL. You want your coach to be at the PSL, or do you want your coach to have your players in a camp preparing for the Australia series? You know, and It is as simple as that for me. As Jamor Small said, as Butcher say a week ago, T20 batsmen quicker edge the ball. Yes, absolutely. We must not believe that these T20 batsmen are that necessarily good in red ball cricket. He needs the experience from far. He needs the I don't know what you're referring to there. I think some of us are explaining natural talent, but Jupiter, Saturn, I really don't know what natural talent is. So if there's a way can you to explain it to me, I will really welcome it, but I don't know what natural talent is. Athanase has the talent, but he does not have the temperament and the discipline to bat very long. But those things are a part of talent, you know. Temperament and discipline. How do you separate temperament and discipline from talent? Because that's part of your talent. The talent is not only about looking good. Talent is not only about stroke play, but talent is also about discipline. And it is also about temperament. And it's also about shot selection. That all makes up the talent, you know, Jupiter. I don't know. So we should not, I don't think we should be here trying to separate them. Carlton McCoy is saying, why when a batsman fail one time, don't care how we done well, we put them down. I don't know what you're talking about, Carlton McCoy, and I don't know what you're talking about, and the construction of your sentence is also poor, and you're making some accusations that are false. If he goes coaching all format, or we find time to coach other teams, Jamor Small said. I'm really wondering about that. And if I'm employing someone on a full-time basis, I'm going to say, man, you either take my job or leave it, you know. I want total commitment to my job. To what I'm giving you, total commitment. So take it or leave it. That would be my position. But then again, Cricket West Indies might see it differently. But for me, he either has to resign the Peshawar job or he will not get the West Indies job. That is my position. Mangari said, I like Sammy, but I think that he should drop all the side hustle to focus being the West Indies all-format coach. I agree with you. Indeed, he should remove himself, said Never Isaac. You know, there have been no release, so I hope that he has, but without any release, we have to assume that he still is. Mr. Casanova is saying that Athanase has been a disappointment. He can't even make the ODI squad for me. Yes, so Travis Brathwaite, I always hear Laura talk about soaking up pressure in the first 30 balls. Athanase has to learn to do that. His shot selection is awful. His premeditation, he premeditates a lot and does not adjust if the shot is not on. Thank you, Travis Brathwaite. I think that's a solid point. Aidan Lewis is saying that, good morning, Sir Brown. At this point, if Sammy is going to the all-format coach, I think he should drop the franchise and focus on West Indies, especially Test cricket. Roddy Latu, Happy New Year to you, man. Good to see you. Good morning. Pertaining to Sammy and Salmi, I think he should continue learning what outside of can help with preparing. I think he should continue learning what outside of can help with preparing West Indies team. Well, there's no issue with, and I've always said it, and I don't have an issue with Roddy Latu disagreeing and making another position, but that's not my position. He would not have been. He has to decide what he wants. Paul Goodman said, agree with you. Shot selection and temperament are a part of talent. Thank you, Paul Goodman. Well, Paul Goodman, happy. Is that the first time you're agreeing with me, Paul Goodman? Quincy St. Hilary saying, No, nah, man. Sammy is getting experience coaching in Pakistan. It's good for West Indies. Well, you see it that way. I don't see it that way. I want total loyalty. Total loyalty. If I'm employing you in my business, I want total loyalty. Total loyalty. If you are not satisfied with how much I'm paying you, then go and get another job somewhere else. But since Quincy St. Hilary, it's just a matter that we disagree on the approaches, but then no issue there. I agree, said Mr. LaRue. I agree, Sammy need to focus. It's a huge undertaking. And Alden Lewis is saying, even if we end up in second tier in the test, but Alden Lewis, how do you know that there will be such a thing? Because this is an issue that I need to address. I will definitely address it on another show. But let's read what he said, because there'll be no second tier. Don't worry about it. There'll be no. Even if we end in the second tier in the test format, it will not be good for West Indies cricket if there's a second tier Alden Lewis. West Indies need to be on top so that there's a lot of work to be done. Sammy Fight will be the players. Can do it, so can I, lad. Sammy Fight will be the players, can do it, so can I. Well, as I said in the beginning, my interest is West Indies cricket. My interest is not in Darren Sammy. My interest is getting the best for West Indies cricket, because I maintain West Indies cricket needs to be in a position that when you and I are long dead and buried, people coming after, the children coming after, will have the experience that these cricketers are having now. Some of the things that we are doing now, if we do not take steps to remedy them, West Indies cricket is going to die. And we must take steps. It's not about players. It's not about coaches. It's about West Indies cricket. And if you cannot fit into that, then I have no room for you. I think that Sammy and Coley should work together. Maybe, who to tell, maybe Darren Sammy will appoint Andre Coley as his assistant coach. It's left to be seen. Carlton, I see how the mighty Australian has given some contests a go in tests with such little experience. Are West Indies missing out by not giving Wickham and Kevlan Anderson more exposure? Well, in saying that, I would have no issue with Kevin Wickham being called to the test squad. Kevlan Anderson, though, have not done nothing to suggest that he is going to be a good test cricketer. And Qantas has a good record. You know, Australia didn't just pluck him out of the blue. His Sheffield Shield record is quite good. However, you would have heard Ricky Ponting. Who else? I think Ricky Ponting and someone else have said that his approach, he will not survive with that approach in test cricket. Michael Douglas has said, I'm not disillusional to believe that Sammy will change our test fortunes when not one batsman in the region that plays over 30 first-class matches that is averaging over 40. Good point there, Michael Douglas. We are not good enough to beat the top teams. Second tier may be what we deserve to start doing better. Mr. Casanova, tell me how that works, because I don't see how that works. Tell me. I absolutely don't see how that works. And how will it be financed? How will it be financed? Can you imagine West Indies playing Ireland at Sabina Park or anywhere? Or Zimbabwe? Who's going to watch that? Where are you going to get television rights? How are the players going to improve if they are playing against mediocre players and not playing against better players? So tell me how it works, Mr. Casanova. I really, really would like to know how it's worked. Now, there's another issue that I would like to talk about. Last year, during the CPL, the Cricket Forum reported that Shafane Rutherford was fired from the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots. One of the leading cricket media house in the world picked up on that video that we did and reported on it that Rutherford was fired from the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots. Recently, that media house interviewed Shafane Rutherford about the incident at the CPL. This is what Shafane Rutherford had to say about that incident that took place at the CPL. The owner didn't play any cricket. So obviously, if you never play the sport, you would not understand the top days, the good days, and the bad days. They are always there in cricket. That means the top days, the good days, and the bad days. So it's just emotion. I think he just got off of emotions. As adults, we need to control that, because at the end of the day, our decision can take us further. So I think it was him wrongdoing. After a game against Barbados, which we lost, the owner texted me about making the team lose. He said, I caused them to lose the game. I responded in a way, that is not a good time to message a player. We are professionals. We have feelings. So obviously, when you're not doing well, you just want to reflect. So when he texts me at the wrong time, I responded to him. That was where they decided for me to leave. Now, that is Shafane Rutherford's side of the story. But that very last sentence he said, I hope he recognized that the man who pays the pipers calls the tune. Within any reasonable time, and I said any reasonable time, the owner of the franchise can call one of his players. He's paying the bill. And I just wonder, who is advising these youngsters to believe that you should disrespect the person that is paying you? He's going to fire you. And you might be up in your feelings. And again, I don't know the story. I just quote what Rutherford said. We have not heard the owner's side of the story. But just going from what Rutherford said, it was clear that Rutherford thinks that the owner should not be calling him. You, even in the public sector, the private sector, your boss call you any reasonable time. The man who pays the piper calls the tune. So I hope Rutherford would have learned from this mistake. And I am disappointed that he gave this interview and said it that way, because that's a level of arrogance that other persons looking on would be really questioning his maturity. Now, Rutherford is someone that I respected a lot. I respect his performances a lot over the past, say, 12 months for the West Indies. He have gone through a lot. He have lost both parents recently, and that is something that I've never experienced. And I don't know how that feels, but I know that would be traumatic. But then you must remember that the man who pays the piper calls the tune. And so I hope that these things is not the position of West Indies cricketers. Do they? Is it that they have so much player power in West Indies cricket? Is it that they are so powerful and that they believe that the owner, the man who's paying them, should not call to them, cannot call them and say, I'm not satisfied with your performance. I just think that he got it all wrong if he believes that the owner of the franchise cannot pick up the phone and text him and said, yo, your performance not good enough. What I'm paying you, I want more than that from you. I don't see anything wrong with that. And then I don't know how he responds, because you know that in that statement, Rutherford would be presenting his position. But clearly, he did not respond in a mature way, because if he had responded in a mature way, then I don't think that he would be fired. But, you know, and I'm very disappointed with this statement. I don't think that he should have put out this statement. I don't think that that's the way he should have been. He should have communicated. And you wonder who are advising these guys. I think that was a poor response from Shafane Rutherford. And it's not surprising that he was fired for his response. That was not the response that he gave to the owner then during the CPL. That was an interview with a media house, a website, one of the most famous websites in the world, who picked up on the Cricket Forum video which said that Shafane Rutherford was fired. I think that it was poor. I think it was ill-advised. I think the comments that he made there are ill-advised. I think his approach to the owner was ill-advised, and he accused the owner of being emotional, but he was also emotional, you know, and I don't just think that those things are ill-advised. Now, thank you very much, Ainsworth. Thank you very much, Radila, too. Have a good day, everyone. This week will be a very active week because there's a lot of cricket coming up, because the West Indies Under-19 World Cup starts on Sunday. The World Cup really starts on Friday, but we play our first match against India on Sunday. The women team also play against Bangladesh on Sunday. So tomorrow morning, I'll be probably looking at the women team. I also have the regional 4-day to preview. So there'll be, and then on Friday, there'll be cricket. So right through this week, I'll be here every morning at 8:30. Take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, and see you tomorrow morning. Have a wonderful day now. Bye.